Bubby just had his dental surgery. He's a little out of it, but he's doing good. We thought he was gonna have 2 or 3 teeth pulled, but he had 8. So his mouth is gonna be feeling a lot better, right, Bubba? My little baby, look at your tongue. Yeah, pretty much all his top front teeth are gone. Now I'm recording videos and he's just out here chillaxing because he really wanted to be outside. All right, it's Tuesday and I'm just relaxing because I've got a busy day ahead of me, but at 10 a.m. Sage and I have to go and talk with our wedding venue to just finalize everything because we're pretty much a month out from our wedding date. And I also have a day full of clients. I'll probably be with clients from like 11:45 until 7 o'clock tonight. So it's gonna be a more jam-packed day, mostly because I have not really been doing super long days with clients. I usually, like I think I've said in a previous video, I usually work 10 to 2:30 or 2:30 to 7. So, but just the way that the week is falling and people rescheduling and all this stuff, it's gonna be a longer day, which whatever, I'm fine. I'm happy to be busy. I'm grateful. It's all good. But little update. This little guy is feeling much better. He's still drugged, but he's definitely not, he doesn't have the anesthesia anymore. So he got his meds and he ate. Yeah, so that's my day. That's what I'm doing. And I'm gonna try to take you along for the ride, so stay tuned for that. Okay, I made a smoothie and I have to show. It is like, I don't know if you can tell, like lime green. I put, I think there's like frozen bananas and pineapple or something. I forget what was in the bag. Kale from our garden, an avocado. I was like, what else did I put in here? Antioxidant juice and some carrots. And then some of my moon water from the other night for the full moon. But yeah, tried to pack it full as much as I could for today because I'm gonna need this because I'm not gonna have any breaks to eat with my clients. So I've got boiled eggs going right now. And at this point, and I'm just hoping that those will like tide me over, and then the smoothie until this evening, which sounds insane. But if I get really hungry, there is a vending machine at work that I can just get a quick snack. But yeah, not a whole lot of time to eat today. Are you ready to finalize this?
Yeah.
Here's our venue. Okay, this is all I'm gonna show you guys, but this is it. This is our venue. I just finished one of my most favorite facials ever, and I wanted to talk about something while I'm switching over the table for my next client. But let me get some sheets. So I offer a facial called the Soulistic Chakra Facial, and essentially what I do is we do a quick tarot card reading in the beginning, and I don't really go off of tarot as like I'm just giving you my intuition. Like, I'll give somebody my perspective or like my initial thoughts based on the question or life focus that they are centering this reading around, essentially. And then once we do the tarot card reading, we kind of talk about it for a minute, and then that's kind of like a way to kind of set an intention for your facial, because we do a meditation. It's a guided meditation during it. I do not do the guided meditation. This is a recording with one that I really like, that I do even on myself at home all the time. So I use chakra stones, and those just kind of amplify each chakra. So as she goes through each chakra in the meditation, the whole point of doing the tarot is set the intention of like, what do we want to meditate on during the facial? And then the meditation is for all your chakras. So keeping that in mind, it goes through each chakra, and what ones are feeling or looking in your head when you think about the color associated to each chakra, what those actually look like. Are they bright? Are they dim? Are they, muted? Different things like that. So that can tell you a lot, because if you have a chakra that is not super bright and vibrant, then there might be some work that needs to be done on that chakra. And each chakra kind of like represents something different, but essentially chakras are just like energy centers in the body. We store things in certain areas that might block those certain things and cause other issues in our life, and that's why somebody would want to do a chakra cleanse or try to get their body back into a better state of balance. So anyway, I want to share something that I thought was super cool about today's tarot and stuff. And I didn't really want to show the client a lot because this is, obviously personal to her and her personal life and all that. The most that I'll say is that the topic of triggers came up. And so I just want to talk about that. I know this is not necessarily aesthetics, but I think it's important to, as far as like being one with yourself and knowing yourself and understanding yourself, it's important to understand, why certain things happen the way that they do and what lessons are there for it to teach us. Okay, I had to clean up and finish cleaning up because I was getting really distracted and couldn't really think clearly about what I wanted to talk about. But anyway, so with this client, we did a tarot card reading, and essentially what I do typically is just shuffle the cards. Typically one falls out, but if there's more, that I'll read them. So the first one that came out was the 7 of Cups. So let's say you pick a life focus, and the focus might be centered around relationships in your life, and that could be your family, it could be anything, but what it is that you need to know about your relationships. And one of the cards that had come out was the 7 of Cups, like I said, and 7 of Cups is really around confusion, fantasies, choices, imagination, and lack of focus and wishful thinking. So this card specifically shows you when you're drowning in your dreams, and your dreams can turn into a goal if you pick the right one. You start working towards that goal that ultimately will take you to that dream or make it real. So the way I interpreted this card is, and this could be different for everybody, but the way that I interpreted it is for this particular person is like, they might have a way in their mind of like how they want their relationships to look, and when those things don't work out that way, then there could be some animosity or resentment or just different things that can come up with for that. So I kind of wanted to go into that a little bit further. So not only did she have that, and that kind of told me that she's wanting things to be a certain way, and she's trying everything she can to make it that way. And so for some reason, triggers came to mind. And so what that can mean is, you really have this idea of how this relationship or dynamic is supposed to happen. And let's say it's not happening. And so you're trying to force this dream or whatever, when in reality, there are probably steps and things to get there before you can just have this picture perfect relationship or whatever it is that you are wanting. So I pulled another card, or at least shuffled until I got another card to kind of expand on that and see exactly what this message for this client was trying to say, or what this person needed to think about when they're meditating today, or work on. And the second card that came out was Two of Pentacles. So this card talks about, you know, multitasking, trying to do everything at one time. And, you know, obviously that takes a lot of your energy, and it's not something that should be necessarily like a permanent way of life. Like, you don't want to always be trying to balance it all and doing everything at one time and trying to make this happen so that you have the outcome that you want. And it's also saying basically try to take that temporary chaos and flip it into calmness. So going off of the whole like triggers thing and like what I thought the first card was saying, I think the second card was following up to, you know, not instantly letting these triggers like get to you. And I think like shadow work came up for me. It was like almost like a mirror of like, okay, this person's triggering me. Why are they triggering me? So I think it's about behind not necessarily the goal to get to this dream relationship or this dream thing. The goal would first be to start small. Like, okay, why is it triggering me? What is this trigger telling me? You know, I'm triggered by this other person's doing this, but why? You know, where lies deep in my soul that tells me why I am triggered? It can be a multitude of things that people get triggered by other people. We're constantly affecting each other energetically every day, every second. I think one of the biggest things is like the whole let them theory of like, let them do it, but then also look within and think like, okay, but why is this triggering me? And I think the other thing too is like to hold space and grace for people even when you feel triggered by them, because they are not usually doing it in a malicious way. Like, there's no bad intention behind what they're doing. Like, if they're making an annoying noise, like I know my fiance, like he's always singing or talking or making our dogs bark or do whatever, and I've had to do a lot of soul searching as to like, okay, why is this triggering me so much? Obviously it's annoying, but like, what exactly about it is annoying? So I think what it's saying is like, give grace, take small steps, and you'll get there as far as like why it's triggering you and be able to turn that off. But the biggest thing during her meditation, when it was talking about the root chakra, about grounding. And so advice that I gave this client, because this was all resonating with her, is that when someone's triggering you, I think it's important to ground yourself and like incorporate all senses. So like, I hear this, that's annoying, but what do I see? What do I feel? What do I taste? What do I smell? You know, all those things, and kind of distracting yourself from that in that moment. Because if you put that energy into trying to get that person to stop doing what you don't like, I just don't think you're not gonna be able to change that person or control their behaviors or what they do. And so it's important to come from a personal perspective as to like why that triggers me, and make those necessary adjustments. So like shadow work. Is there something from my past that caused this trigger? Or is there something from like my childhood or a past life or whatever it is? Shadow work is super important. I really love Zenful Note. It's an app that you can go in and do a lot of shadow work, or you can buy, I think it's called the Shadow Work book, but the same creator of the app is the same creator of the book and everything. So understand yourself, know yourself, and make the internal changes, because we will mirror each other, and whatever we fix within ourselves helps project into society and into the world, and that energy can heal other people. You will be better off as far as your environment and relationships.
Yes. Boyaku.
Sage's dinner. The sun is blinding me. Babe. Stop. Look at all these toys Dorothy got out. Anyway, that's what I was trying to show before I was rudely interrupted. Just look up and realize that the towel hanger thing that you've had on your door for the last 5 years is completely scratching up your door. How did I not know? So the nurse that brought me in here, when she called my name and I went to the door and I was like, oh my God, I always get you. This is so funny. And she's like, yeah, like, because I work for Dr. And I was like, what? And she was like, we're like one person to a provider. So I'm always here on the days that she's here and I grab her patients and I'm like, oh my God. Crew. What is it?
You bite my hand, I bite you. Jimmy cat.
What do you want from me? Okay. We literally came home so he could go to the bathroom and I look up and he's just playing soccer in the garage. Our sensor's broken, so we have to hold down the thing. You think you're funny or something?
I did that for 10 minutes. You didn't notice.
Oh my God.
I'm sweating now.
Oh.